Welcome back to the channel. We're heading out to JDM Dyno again. We've got the chassis to clean up so that Jonathan can 3D scan the chassis and then we can start making plans on how things go together. Yeah, I've got Rivers with us today. She says she's not going to help us, but I'm sure she will. Are you going to help us? Why not?
No.
So I've asked her to film and I've asked her to help us clean. I'm going to pay her if she helps us clean the chassis up. But she says she's not doing anything at the minute, so we'll see. Do you not want any money? You must want some money. You always want money. Kids there. She's 10, a really helpful 10, but she's got her own business. She does do stuff. She's got her, what's your business?
Dog toys.
Dog toys. She makes dog toys. Snoop Dog Tug Toys on Instagram. She's not totally born idle for a 10-year-old, but today she doesn't want to help, so we'll see anyway. We're going to stop in at a friend's to a jeweller's because I've got some opals for sale, so I'm going to let him have a look at them and then heading out to Cre8ors, so I'll catch you shortly. So we've just pulled up the jeweller's. I'll give you his name in a minute because Joe, I can't remember how you pronounce it, it's a bit of a funny one. How do you pronounce that? Joe, how do you pronounce that, Rivers? Joe
I'd say Chacole.
Eh?
Chacole.
Chacole. Let's ask him. Press the doorbell.
How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Alright,
I've been
thanks.
here before.
We're filming.
You've been here before.
Yeah.
We're just.
I remember those.
You're called the River.
Well done. Close. Rivers. It's got an S on the end.
Rivers. Oh, it's plural.
And this is Steve.
Don't we have them cards in our shop?
Yes, we have those cards in our shop.
Is that amethyst?
I don't know. What's that blue stone, Steve?
No, it's that blue stone is called Aqua Pura.
Aqua Pura. There's a factory. They make water out at Lazenby. Don't they? Is it Lazenby?
Yeah, that stone is basically a quartz, but it's got a coating on it, and the trade won't tell you what the coating is. And I've googled it and I've tried to find out.
So it's been coated.
It's been coated with something, but they won't. It's like a trade, which makes it sparkle so much.
It's nice. I like all the inclusions in it as well.
Yeah.
I've brought something else to show you. Did you see that I had to go at making a necklace?
I didn't
Rivers,
know.
can you film?
I have to be honest, I haven't been on. Was this on Facebook or Instagram or whatever?
So I had to go at making a necklace. This is my first necklace, so I thought I'd show you it because I'm proud of it and that. It's not.
For your first attempt,
That's first attempt. It's all right. I
Yeah.
think I'm quite happy with it. It's far from perfect, and I learned a lot from it because I realised how tricky it is to set a stone.
Yeah.
If the stone's not completely
If
perfectly.
it's like freeform as they call them.
Yeah. I mean, it's you know.
It's not
around,
bad though.
But what it was there was a slight dip in the stone on one side.
Yeah.
And there was a little dip on the side, and I had to roll the edge over much further, like.
With silver, you can do that.
Yeah.
If somebody asked you to make the same in platinum,
It's way harder.
it's really hard. Well, the hardest precious metal.
It just showed how perfect you need to get things. You know what I mean?
But for the first go, that's very impressive.
I wasn't happy with my solder because I soldered it from the inside. I put the, what do you call it, edge?
The bezel.
I put the bezel onto the back and then I cut it and shaped it, and that's basically.
What you always do is you lay a flat sheet, so you don't really need to keep the weight down. Obviously,
Yeah.
you don't need anything bigger than about sort of 0.7, 0.8 mil
Yeah.
sheet, and then you make your wire to go round the contour, so you get that sort of perfect.
Yeah.
And you solder it with some hard silver solder.
Hard.
There's 3 different types.
Yeah,
of solder.
I've got hard, soft, and medium.
That's the ones, yeah. So you solder that with hard, so that's your first solder. When you solder this sheet onto the flat sheet, you solder it with medium,
Yeah.
and then anything else you have to do afterwards.
That's what
You use the hard solder first.
because
and
it'll
work
melt
your way
the
back.
one before. Yeah.
What it does is the overheating of silver. The other thing, classic example of, you wouldn't know this, but it's how brown patchy it is in the back.
Aye.
So it's oxidisation in silver.
Right.
So as soon as you heat
I've
silver,
overheated it.
the copper comes to the surface.
Aye.
So you haven't overheated it. What you haven't done is you've under polished it.
Yeah, right.
So you've
Okay.
got to go through about 3 or 4 grades of emery and then give it a really good polish. But you polish
just give it-
polish it till the fire stain marks all come out.
Yeah.
But it's a
I
good.
didn't pickle it. I just like cleaned it up. You know, like there's that pickling.
You need to pickle it in sulfuric acid, really. Yeah.
I've got the pickling solution. It's like,
Is that safe to pickle they give you?
Aye.
I could give you some sort of travelling of chemicals in. They'd have to have some kind of license, kosh they call it now, and a lot of them, DPD and all these like have it now. But if you brought a little bottle in that you can seal, just mix it a quarter acid to 3/4 water. But you always put your water in first and get the acid to the water.
That's a real good acid.
If you do it the other way around, you'll have it in your face. It's quite dangerous. You can feel it bubbling up as you do it the normal way. So.
Yeah.
But no, it's quite impressive.
And then I made another one with a smaller stone, like an oval, and I'd got the bezel edging that had like it was shaped. You know what I mean? Like it's already preformed. And that was much easier to roll up the stone, like because it was just like thin bits of metal. But
classically, cabochon stones always look good set in a rub over setting.
Yeah.
But I quite like them set, and I'm going to do some of these where you get them so it looks more like a wire. I had a load of stuff made, and once I made them in different shaped stones, they all sold. But basically.
How do you pronounce your studio name? Your business name?
Well,
Joku?
I pronounce it Jocal because Jocal it's Latin for jewel, but there's no U in it. Somebody had already nicked the name, but I liked it. So my brother says to us, coming up, I'd do a play on words. So I said, if you put a U in and highlight it in gold, that's the chemical symbol for gold.
Right.
I still pronounce it.
Right. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, Jocal.
So
I always struggle with it. I like.
You're not the only one. People who ring me up to sell me things or whatever. Ducal, Joycal, Ducal. I just say it's basically Jocal. People think they have to pronounce it.
I'm trying to remember the name. You know, it's Joe something. It's Joe something.
It's basically Latin for jewel.
Yeah.
What have you found? She's ratcheting about in a jeweller's workshop and coming at us with stones. That is beautiful. Be careful not to drop it. That'll be it.
It's a ring that's got very little value. Well, it's gold, but the stone is just an olive green cubic zirconia. But it was special cut.
So can you dye them, like dye a stone? How's that green?
It's done with heat.
Right.
The people who manufacture them, well, cubic zirconia is a man-made stone.
Yeah.
But it's not the best imitation diamond anymore now. Because
they can make fake diamonds, can't they?
There's a thing out now, lab created diamonds, which I'm kind of looking into because the prices of them are that much cheaper than real.
Yeah.
But I've got coloured diamonds in there now. Look, so if you look in the cabinet to the left, so these now are becoming more and more popular. They're not heat treated; they are real diamonds. So that's nice teal blue.
Wow.
And I'm going to start doing a lot more in these.
Yeah.
Yellows, another blue one there. So they make a nice contrast, especially the blue against the white's quite nice.
So we're at the garage. JDM Dyno, Kirkbride. His mainstay business here is engine tuning, really. I've just roped him into, I've rented the ramp off him to be able to do this because I didn't want to take up too much space without paying my way, and this is going to be here for a while, so Rivers is helping. So what we've got to do is we've got to clean all the crap off the chassis, all this dust. Yeah, so this seems like a almost a sorry darling, almost a waste of a time job, but because the whole chassis is getting sandblasted at some point. But the reason we're having to do this is because we want to 3D scan it, and to be able to 3D scan it, we kind of need to get the surfaces clean and all the same colour, because the scanner doesn't pick up on blacks and it doesn't pick up on oil. So like the chassis is black at the back, like a dark grey, it's brown over here and red here and all these different colours. And really it needs to be a consistent, purple at the front. So really it needs to be a consistent colour so that the scanner can pick it up. And Yeah, I brought some water as well. But I thought if we scrub it off first and then wash it down. So we can scrub it and then we can use that airline to blow it off. A bit of pressure.
What are you doing? What is that?
You pump it up and then when you... So this will stop all the dust. If we make it a little bit wet, it'll stop the dust going everywhere.
So that's kind of like water.
Yeah, it is water. But it'll stop making dust so that you're not having to breathe it in. Now then, this is a bit of a weird one. Jonathan asked us to get some dry shampoo for spraying on the chassis to help the 3D scanner pick up the shape of the chassis. Which did. I thought it would be easier just painting it, like priming it, but he says no, just get that stuff. So I got 5 cans of dry shampoo spray, and it has gone absolutely nowhere. I'll show you. Look at this. So in areas where you put about like 10 coats on, you can get it to go white, but generally it's just left this dusty surface over it. So I don't want to wipe any off, but he thinks it will help. Personally, I think that, like I say, I should have just got some cans of primer, but anyway, that's how it's looking at the minute. So next thing, we're going to 3D scan it. So Jonathan's very kindly given us the use of an old shipping container to put all the bits, because I didn't want to have all this stuff, like we've got 2 cars in bits shortly, and I didn't want to leave it all lying around his garage. It would just get in the way and cause problems. I was gonna actually like buy a shipping container, but he says I've got one there that's just emptied. He had someone with some stuff in it, but he's just emptied it out. So yeah, so he's given us the use of this shipping container, which is very good of him. So we've got somewhere to store the thing, but look at this inside here. It looks like some sort of, I don't know, it's kind of horrible. And the roof's leaking, so we're going to have to see, can you see that drip there? So the roof has actually got quite a lot of holes in it, so we're going to fiberglass the roof just so it's strong and not leaking. Some bits of the body kit in there, but we need to have a tidy up in here. because it needs to be dry to store anything in for the stuff I want to put in it. Really, a bit of fiberglass is all right. This is just fiberglass, so that'll be fine. But we'll be having to fiberglass the roof in this, so another job to add to the jobs. But putting a bit of effort in fixing the roof and giving it a good clean out, might even give it a lick of paint on the inside. I know it's all right for storage and that, but it's a bit grim, innit? I was thinking I could maybe use these shelves here, forget the stuff of the cars down in the back end, and I could maybe use like these shelves here to do some fiberglass work on them, because the arches are going to need fiberglassed, and there'll be a bunch of other bits as well. I've been making some sort of centre console and some other bits and pieces for the car, so I could do with somewhere to be able to do the fiberglassing as well. So this could possibly work for that as well. So store stuff down the far end and be able to work up this end. So we'll have to get it sorted so it's not leaking. It's actually got electric in it as well. It's got lighting and stuff. I don't know whether it's plumbed in, but so we've got that to put stuff in. Really handy. Apparently those injectors, the coils are off an Audi R8. So I'm going to engrave all this, the full cam cover. Bloody Makita.
Bloody Makita.
Bloody hell. Are they tight, lad?
Bloody tight. Absolutely.
Were you turning it the right way?
Yeah.
I know you. I could see you were.
Lefty loosey, righty tighty.
So I went to try and start it before, and smoke started coming out the dashboard. So with Phil taking the console and that out the other day, it's obviously shorted something out. So yeah, we're taking the roll cage out of this. That'll go into the container. The seats can stay in the car because I don't want them getting rotten. Then once the other chassis scanned, when we take the running gear off it, the suspension and the wheels and everything, or roll it out and get this stripped. I don't know which way we're going to do it, but that's the plan anyway. Wheel Smart UK. So just to give everybody a nudge here, this S13 shell will be for sale, and it will be a shell. It will have some parts still on it, but the engine and a lot of bits, the pop-up bed lights will still be on it and bits and pieces. But there's an S13 shell for sale here, so if anybody is looking for or knows anybody who wants one or who's into drifting, and this might make a good project for someone. And I know people are going to say it should have been left like that, and it would be a really good project for somebody if it was a complete car, but I needed the parts off it. So I've already had two S13s, so I didn't really want a third. I want a truck. I want a Datsun 620 drift truck. That's what I want. So that's what we're making. So I needed some bits. So speaking of the truck, it's looking a bit sorry for itself at the minute. But we've just tried up the arches, the front arches. I've tried the back ones on the back off the S13, and they look good. Just tried the front ones on and they look even better. So really happy with the way that's going to turn out. It became quite apparent that this thing's definitely been in an accident. It's absolutely full of filler, there's weld all over the place. This front panel here, I don't know if you can see that, but it's like getting crushed with it sitting on the tyres. It's bent right up, but to be honest with you, it doesn't flipping matter because it's wrecked anyway. It's absolutely full of filler. I'll straighten it out if I don't cut it out, one of the two. So yeah, projects. The kind of, what's it called? Summit creep. I'm going to call it Project Creep. It just keeps on creeping away from you. Now we've got shipping containers of fiberglass and paint. Crikey, I didn't even mean flipping buying a full donor car for it, you know what I mean? But there was that much wrecked on the truck already. It wasn't supposed to have been. It was supposed to just need a bit of TLC, but brakes weren't working, handbrake cables cut off, prop shaft centre bearing floating all over the place. Like, I've never seen one so knackered. What else? Wouldn't start, no fuel pump. Ring gear was obviously knackered because it was literally grinding. Fuel tank completely ruptured. There's just an absolute bunch of stuff. So yeah, TLC. Because I bought the car unseen, you see, it was a long way away, so I just took the guy's word for it. But yeah, it's definitely like not the vehicle that he told us it was, which then forced us into making a decision on whether just to get rid of it or fire it back at him or just get stuck in, and you know, so hence buying the S13. Obviously we've got a hell of a journey to do, a lot of work to do to get there, so we'll just keep on plugging away and keep on filming it, and yeah, you'll get to see the progress, every bit of it. What I don't want you to do is lean on me fucking hair shampoo and rub it off.
Oh, bollocks.
So this is the 3D scanner. That's it there on the corner of the tablet. And how does it work?
It basically projects out of the middle bit there, infrared pattern, and then the sensors on either side pick it up. There's also a colour.
So it's seeing in infrared like the Predator.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Take two. So switching off the tablet and switching it back on again. Sorted out the
IT fashion.
The glitch.
Right, so that's your preview.
Yeah.
Real time. Didn't really want that to come up.
Do you have to keep that at a certain distance?
Yeah, it actually tells you up here. We're actually a little bit too close. See how it can pick up the axle as well as the whole spring. Oh, lost track of that. So, what was that?
And so that bit of information stored, and
so it's a little bit messy there, but we can clean that up.
I guess it's like having to work out a lot of information, all the measurements and everything, I guess.
See where it's blue there? That's because it's too dark. If I go in closer, it'll get better, but there's no spray on that, so it doesn't pick it up as well. And then if it's too bright, it goes red, and then that's because it's too close. It takes it a little while to process it.
I guess it's like having to work out a lot of information, all the measurements and everything, I guess.
See where it's blue there? That's because it's too dark. If I go in closer, it'll get better, but there's no spray on that, so it doesn't pick it up as well. And then if it's too bright, it goes red, and then that's because it's too close.
So like this sort of technology, like, you know, even 5 years ago wasn't really available
wasn't
to
handheld
not like that. No, it's and not in that price range either. Because although I imagine it's not cheap, it wouldn't be.
It's accessible.
It's accessible sort of pricing. Yeah. And although this video is not sponsored by RevoPoint, you are sort of sponsored by RevoPoint, are you?
I have got a beta test model of the newest one that's not even launched yet.
Yeah.
Which is a mini.
So because Jonathan's got, he's made a lot of use of them, and he's been going on the forum talking about it and showing people what he's been doing with it and helping other people to understand how to use them. The company's actually like recognised that he's a big help to them, and they've actually sent him a scanner. Not this one though.
No, this is the bigger one. The mini. I'll show you the mini later. It's for higher detail stuff.
But to be able to buy, and I know you can 3D scan stuff with your iPhone now with the LiDAR and everything, but it's different. And what is the difference, Jonathan? What?
Well, LiDAR will give you so many points.
Is it saying you're too close?
Yeah, a little bit. LiDAR will give you so many points, but it won't give you the detail, and it won't give you the measurements. This gives you all the measurements of all the points,
Yeah. So it gives you like the idea of like when it's measured that bit across to there, it can tell you in millimeters how long that section is. And obviously it's scanning quite a complex.
See how it found that section there.
So it can't be like GPS that's...
There's an accelerometer in it that helps it, but it's basically feature based, so it can see.
And so it recognises the feature that you were at before, and then.
Yeah. You've got to keep it quite steady.
And so, how long do you think it'll take to scan this chassis then? Because you want to are you going to do the underneath or?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you lift it up, and scan underneath it, the chassis spatial area positioning has changed because it's not, but that's not working off space, it's working off shape.
It's more shape, so you'd have to have something that overlapped. So say you scan this bit down here, you could then go from there down underneath and get link that to.
But you're going to do it from the top and the sides and the inside, and then lift it up and do the underneath side, so you'll have it'll stitch the top together, it'll stitch the bottom together, and then you can physically put them together on the software. Yeah.
As long as you've got points that overlap enough with features that it can detect, or that you can point to. So in the software you can point to, say, 3 or 4 points on there.
You can point to the big crack in the chassis.
Yeah. Don't think we're too bothered about that.
No. The rate we're going, it's highly likely we're going to chop the fronts off. We're just going to end up with the middle bit, because I can't see. Well, I don't know, but
I think we'll use some of the back.
Like this section here, maybe, or I think we're going to have to take.
How high this goes for the suspension.
Yeah.
It might not be enough to do it without cutting that out.
I think we're going to have to cut that out. I think we're cutting that out, but we'll just have to see.
I was going to try and zoom into that. You can see it's picked it up quite well.
What's it got there? What's that?
That's the wheel.
Is that the wheel? Oh, that's the back of the wheel, isn't it?
Yeah. So 3-dimensional wheel.
Clever stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I thought I'd do an end for this video because I always forget to do an end for them. I remember to do the start, but like you kind of get finished and then forget. So we're back in Carlisle now. Jonathan started scanning the chassis, but there's no point hanging about. Obviously I filmed a little bit of it, but other than that I think we'll just let him get on with it and do what he needs to do. I've got some stuff fired in that container, had a bit tidy up. So we're back in Carlisle now. Bailey's just picking up, he's at another garage picking up his van, so just thought I'd finish it off by saying yeah, I think the next bit is actually probably going to be fiberglass in the roof on that container, and then after that get the chassis off the ramp and start stripping the running gear out the Nissan. I'll have to work exactly what order I'm going to do that. Might take the running gear out of the Datsun chassis first, so we've just got 2 rails, and do it like that. But it's a 6 and 2 3s really. So yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye bye.